welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
My name is Ash.
I'm woefully unprepared. I just need to whip my phone out.
Okay. Things and cabbages. I like cabbages, you know.
Yeah, great. Have you ever heard of a
Yes.
singer, well, an artist,
I have heard of
by
singers
the name
and artists.
of Jay-Z?
Jay-Z?
Yeah, Jay-Z. Have you ever heard of him?
I thought it was called Jayz.
Jay-Z. Obviously, you've heard of him.
Of course I've heard of Jay-Z.
Well,
But also how motherfuckers want to find me.
You're not going to say the next line, are you?
I can't. I'm too white. First N-word's got to find me.
So, I just want to talk about this fucking streaming service that he's got called Tidal. Have you heard of Tidal?
I have heard of Tidal.
I just want to get your 2 cents on it, because I think it's a bit like he's shooting himself in the foot.
I have heard of Tidal. I have not read into Tidal. So
Tidal.
I
can tell you as much as I think I need to tell you to get a good opinion. So basically, he doesn't allow other streaming services like Spotify or Apple Music to host his songs. He only streams his songs from his music service.
Is that why I can't find a decent copy of N S in Paris on Spotify?
Yeah, that's exactly why. You can only stream his music from Tidal, which is fair enough. Like, you've got to, like, he's got a business to run. Like, he wants to start this streaming service, fair enough. Like, he's going to put his music on there.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a point where you've got to pick. Like, either you care more about being a musician, or you care more about being a businessman who has a streaming service.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it just feels... Because I don't think Tidal has that much else to offer. There's a great infographic on informationisbeautiful.com.
Yeah, I think that's where I know Tidal from.
Of all the streaming services and how much they earn and what have you. And Tidal's like... It's on there.
Yeah.
But... it's not doing as well as Spotify, for example.
Yeah, but I bet it has a higher subscribed users than Spotify does.
Yeah,
but that's because the user base is much smaller.
Well, exactly. But I think he's married to Beyonce.
Yeah.
And so she's brought a new album out, and you can only stream that on Tidal.
Tidal, yeah.
But all her other albums are available on other streaming services.
Like, listen, Jay-Z, I don't know what his last name is. I don't know if his first name's Jay.
His name is Jay Zizzle.
Listen, Jay Zizzle. I'm not going to put all my eggs in your fucking basket.
Exactly.
That's your shitty, falling at the seams basket.
Like, how awkward must that be? Like, I doubt very much that Beyonce wants to only release her album on his struggling streaming service.
I reckon the conversation went much like fucking what's his face, Julian Smith's hot Kool-Aid video. Jay-Z's all like, I made this for you. And she's all like, fine. And then it gets put on there and it breaks like shooting records. And she's like, yeah, it's not bad, that.
So the reason I thought to myself, at a certain point, you've just got to pick, like, you care more about your music or you care more about your streaming service. And I went on Tidal, their website, to have a look at it.
Right.
Have a look at how much it costs, like,
what's the UX like?
Like, I don't want to get it, but it's very, well, the colour black is used a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very black, but... yeah, it's just boring, really. It looks a bit like a Blogspot blog from a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, but what I didn't get is the first thing you hit with when you go on there is, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce are going on tour. And it's like, well, do you care more about your streaming service and getting people to click through and fucking subscribe? Or do you care more about selling tickets to your show? Like,
listen, Jay-Z,
you gotta pick.
Just make a portfolio or something like that. Or a personal website. You don't have to make a streaming service to sell your shit.
Yeah. So, the reason I was thinking about this is because my friend Yosef from work, he had like a 3-month trial. So basically we were just listening to a lot of Jay-Z
Yeah.
Because he was like, well, I've got to listen to as much as possible until my trial's up.
I'm going to listen to everything on here, just plays Jay-Z for the next few hours.
The app had loads of problems. It was really glitchy and it wouldn't work with certain like casting, and there was no controls on the notification panel or the lock screen or anything, and he just got annoyed with it. So he was like, oh, fuck it, I'll cancel my subscription now.
Yeah.
So he did. He cancelled his 3-month subscription, and they said, sorry, it's ego or whatever. Your subscription will automatically end on 9/11.
Right.
Right. So not only is that wrong because that's not 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Why 9/11? It's just a random date that they threw at him.
Oh, I don't know. Americans stack their dates weird, so maybe it's backwards.
Well, no, that's I'd turn it round.
Right.
I mean, no. Well,
okay.
I made sure, like I was very sure of it because I thought that as well.
Right.
And it was 9/11.
So, like, on the 9th of...
No, they gave us the date in English, and it was the 11th of the 9th.
Right.
Which in American is 9/11.
Okay. So, yeah.
And when I say it in English, I mean British.
Maybe he's just still really salty about that whole thing. As is every American.
Yeah.
Mention 9/11, they're all like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they obviously say shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that come from mostly just America. We have a friend on Facebook who used to exclusively post conspiracy bullshit.
We have a friend.
Yeah, we have a friend. He used to exclusively post conspiracy bullshit, and all his friends started complaining about it. And then out of the blue one day he says, oh, I'm going to quit Facebook. I'm going off Facebook. So he leaves.
Yeah.
And he comes back. Recently,
Yeah.
He's come back. I've seen about 2 conspiracy posts, which isn't so bad considering back in the day it would have been about 10 by this time. I can see he's still trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah, who is it?
He also posts puns all the time.
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah.
And I think he didn't...
But he started posting a lot of puns, and his friends have been commenting and saying, oh, when are the conspiracy theories coming back, sort of thing. So,
if it's the same person we're thinking about, I think he left because he was spending too much time on Facebook, not because of the whole saltiness about conspiracy theories.
Well,
and
fair enough.
I think his phone died or something like that, and so he switched to a shitty like £10 burner phone that just wasn't good for browsing the internet or Facebook or anything like that.
I just assumed he left because of all the conspiracy stuff, because it was sort of the like penultimate point of complaints about conspiracy shit.
I love a good conspiracy theory, even if it's like the most outlandish thing I ever fucking read in my life. I'm like, that's pretty funny, that's cool. If that actually was real, fucking hell.
So,
like the whole sugar conspiracy. You ever heard that one?
The what?
The sugar conspiracy. I don't know what the actual title is, but it's a conspiracy how someone made a sugar substitute from a plant or something like that, right?
A sugar plant?
No.
Sugar cane.
A different plant than a sugar cane, right?
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you.
It had like none of the side effects. It didn't make you stupidly fat or give you fucking hyperactive shit or anything
Sweetener.
like that. It was better than sweetener,
Right? Okay.
right? And it was like they did a bunch of tests or something like that, and everything the person made with it was like 10 times better than the sugar version, right? But because apparently it would be so cheap to make and whatnot, the sugar companies would lose out. And so one day the guy's laboratory or office or whatever got ransacked, all his data was destroyed, and then suddenly, like a week later, it was illegal to put anything from this plant in any food. I can't remember what the name of the fucking plant was or whatever it was.
Right.
And there's just a whole conspiracy about how the sugar companies shut it all down because they would have lost money or something like that.
You could tell that story with any product.
Yeah.
And people will believe it.
Yeah. Because it's happened before, and the whole fucking diamond thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm skeptical about it, right? But I won't fucking put it past these corrupt rich people. It's like the more money you get, the more corrupt you end up being. But yeah, it's just a fun conspiracy. I like conspiracies. I don't believe in them when I say that. Like, I like conspiracies. Just I like reading about them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever come across a very convincing conspiracy theory that I've 100% believed in. There's ones that maybe go, that lines up a bit too well. But then, like, you can do it about anything.
Yeah. Me and Yosef were talking today about how we instinctively, as soon as we're told anything, we'll Google it and fact check it and make sure.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And, like, I do it whenever I'm telling somebody something as well, even if I've believed it for my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell them it and I'll be like, hang on, let me just fact check that. But nobody does that, and it's really annoying.
I think if you don't do that, you're doing yourself a massive disservice, you know?
Yeah, and it's really dangerous as well, because I've seen some... I'm tilted way far away from the mic. I saw this, like misinformation post, and that's what got us talking about it. And I was like, this is really dangerous. Like, people are going to believe this shit. And lo and behold, it was false, but yeah, it's just silly. Like
that time someone posted a picture of a refugee. I did air quotes there. And he had a smartphone, and they were all like, "If these refugees have really left everything behind, how have they how have they fucking afford a smartphone or something like that?" And if you just reverse image search the picture, you would have found out that it was taken years before the whole refugee crisis thing, and it wasn't even a fucking Syrian refugee or something. They were just, I don't know. People need to fact check shit, mate.
Yeah, I agree. Wholeheartedly. It really annoys me that people don't.
I've been, ever since I was old enough to go on the computer unsupervised, which my parents didn't give a shit, so it was a very young age. I've been checking everything anyone's ever fucking told me.
Yeah.
Someone says something, it sounds a bit like bullshit. I'm like, let me just Google that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move away from that.
Okay.
Have you seen any of the recent PlayStation like marketing campaign like videos?
No.
They are honestly mind-blowing. I could watch them all day. They're so good. There's
mind-blowing. Like it's amazing. They've hit every
it's just
point.
Amazing.
It's so disconnected.
No, it makes me hard that I'm part of this community. Okay. Like, it's such an ode to PlayStation. So basically, we're at this point now where there are so many PlayStation exclusives. Like, you'd be stupid not to choose PlayStation. Like, there's so many awesome.
Yeah. That's not like a statement saying PlayStation only, but
no. Well, yeah, like I love my Nintendo Switch, but
yeah,
like there are so many exclusives on PlayStation that are like some of the best games that you'll ever play. Like you got to experience that. You can't just be stubborn and insist that Xbox or just Xbox has better exclusives, because it doesn't. That's where the Xbox is failing. That's why it's...
all two of the exclusives on Xbox are that good.
So here's what I think is going on in the PlayStation marketers' heads, right? Xbox One comes out, which runs in true 4K. It's the most powerful console. PlayStation are like, oh no, what's going to happen? And then lo and behold, nothing happens. PlayStation 4 remains the best-selling console worldwide.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 fans stay loyal to PlayStation. Very few people defect just because the Xbox One's more powerful, and it's because of these exclusives. So the marketing team said, well, this is why we're winning. We have these exclusives. So now they've put these marketing campaigns out, which are all based around their exclusives, and they're so good.
I read recently that they're even amping up their efforts to buy more exclusives and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not surprised. Like, if that's your selling point, you keep going.
I will say, though, that the Xbox One X, which is a fucking stupid name, doesn't actually run in true 4K.
Yeah, well, that's how they were marketing it. So.
Yeah, I know developers have since come forward and said, we can't get our game to run on 4K on this fucking console.
Well, that's just standard for Microsoft.
Yeah, they can get in like a kind of like a 4K resolution, but it runs like absolute shit. It's locked at like 30 frames or even less.
Yeah,
it's fucking awful.
One that I saw, because they'll pick a theme.
Yeah.
So based on like where their IPs sort of cross a border, like interlink.
Yeah.
They'll pick a theme that interlinks some of their IPs. And one that I saw, which was the first one I saw, which I love. I've like watched it 4 times for like no reason. It was a monster hunting theme.
Yeah.
So obviously they put these 3 games together, which were like monster hunting themed. So obviously you have Monster Hunter, Horizon.
Yeah,
you hunt these robots, and there was another one, and it's completely escaped me. But even though I've watched it 4 times, but it's really good. I'll have to try and find it for you.
Memory sucks balls.
My memory is so bad. This is why I've got such long lists of notes, because if I came to a podcast without this, I wouldn't have anything to talk about.
You'd be all like
anything.
So this thing, never mind. This other thing, kind of. I have no idea, man.
It's not far off that, to be fair.
I don't know. I don't hate Xbox. I was recently thinking about buying one. Yeah. Because I saw a 1S for like 190 quid or something. I'm like, that's a fucking steal.
That is a steal.
And then I was like, there was that game that I wanted to play on it. And then I googled it. I was like, oh, that's not an exclusive, so I can get that on PlayStation. Yeah. And I was like, I'm sure there was something. And then I was like, oh yeah, Dead Rising 3. And I was like, is it worth getting an Xbox One for Dead Rising 3? Not all. I actually looked at the entire catalogue of exclusives,
and none of them were worth it.
They
were Halo 5 tanked.
Yeah.
That Sunset Overdrive, which they were using as a selling point for ages, turned out to be no good.
And then I was like, you know what, right? I'm probably just finding the shittest exclusive list ever. So I did a few searches for like the best must-play games on Xbox One, and they were all cross-platform. And I was like, wow, I'm not getting an Xbox anytime soon. I'd love to get one.
Yeah, but like the only reason to get an Xbox for us would be exclusives, games we can't play anywhere else.
See if these...
But there are none. Like, we're not going to buy an Xbox One just to... I don't know, we already have an extensive library on PS4.
Yeah. Like you said in the last episode, I've got like 160 odd games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what you're going to do, start from scratch just to play on a different console?
On my overall library, my PlayStation 4, I've got like 170 or something, or maybe even more. I've just never played a few of them.
I have 300 games on Steam that I can't play anymore. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, like, I don't know, man. Sea of Thieves just recently came out, and I was like, maybe that's the game that makes me get an Xbox.
Oh, that tanked as well, didn't it?
But then I was like, I'd have to buy a fucking PS Plus Xbox Live, which is like 40 quid a year or 50 quid a year. So I was like, yeah, probably not. And then I looked at the reviews and stuff, and critics love it. They're absolutely just praising it to shit. Yeah, so I started looking at user reviews.
Yeah, and they're awful.
And they're all like, yeah, it's so boring. There's fuck all to do. It's a good time to play with your friends. But then I'd be the only person with an Xbox One. I want to be able to play with my friends. So I was like, fuck it then.
I had flashbacks to what was that game called? The one that inspired us to start a little game dev team that didn't last very long.
Oh,
what was it called? No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I had flashbacks to that because it was just like mirroring what happened. Like loads of hype, and then the critics loved it.
Oh, it didn't reach the levels of No Man's Sky though.
Well, yeah.
Even the critics were like very critical of No Man's Sky. It was such an awful thing. I've heard that all the recent updates and stuff with it had, like made it a much better experience, but it's just the damage is already done. Like you can't scuff that out, mate. Like there's no buffing those fucking scratches out of it. And there's like 20 odd dints that you're never gonna fucking get out. I don't know where that was going.
So I sent you something cool the other day, which I saw on Reddit, and it was a skit made in Unreal Engine 4, fully rendered in real time in Unreal Engine 4
for Star Wars.
Yeah, it was a Star Wars skit. I think it was fan made. It must have been fan made because it was just kind of like a little funny, humorous thing.
I have no idea.
But it was mind blowing.
At the same time, Andy Serkis's Unreal demo thing came out. So I think they might have done a convention or something recently.
Oh yeah, true.
Like a GDC or something.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Maybe it was official.
Yeah.
Me being the awful friend that I am, I didn't watch it when you sent me it. I watched it later from some other source, and I didn't see at the beginning that it said rendered in real time. So I was like, mate, don't fucking lie to me. That is so not real time.
It looked like people. That was
fucking beautiful. I think Andy Serkis's one was much better.
Yeah. I've only watched that on mobile, so the fidelity is not great. But is the Andy Serkis a 3D model as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. It was his skin was a bit too smooth.
What he was showcasing was that he could do motion capture once, and you could apply the facial animations to multiple things in real time as well.
It was really, really cool.
It was really fucking good, man.
Do you think they already had a high quality 3D model of Andy Serkis on hand, or do you think they made it for that demo?
I don't know. I bet it's not even that hard these days. You could just fucking do
scan his head,
3D laser scanning and shit. Which reminds me, did you ever hear about that fucking Australian company called Euclidean or something like that?
Euclidean?
Yeah.
Nope.
They claim to have a better way of making models. Instead of using polygons, they used actual atoms.
Wasn't it an April Fool's thing?
No, they went quiet for ages, and now they've come back and they're saying more shit. They've got like an actual holodeck thing or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know that I believe it.
I did a bunch of research into it.
Pardon me.
And even though they claim they were using basically a method that was thought of in the 70s, so it's old technology, but they keep saying it's new technology. And some guy ran the numbers and stuff like that, and he was like, "There's no way you could be able to make a full game like 12 hours long, all this cool shit just using atoms. It'd be way too much processing power and shit like that, and you can't animate them." And stuff like that, like you can with polygons, you can't have all these extra layers like subsurface scattering and all the shit. And so that's why when the environments all looked really flat and the shadows were shit and stuff like that.
It might be cool for like 3D printing,
maybe,
but like for actual game development,
it might be
unless
cool.
quantum computing becomes a thing.
Yeah, like
very soon,
100 years down the line, when everything's got a quantum fucking processor in it. Maybe then it'll be fucking amazing, and they figured all that shit out.
When quantum computing is a thing, how long do you think it will take for the next like quantum games console to come out? Because I imagine it will not be a consumer level for a very long time.
I'm not even 100% convinced that quantum computing will ever be a thing. Because you know what's going to happen?
I feel like we're so close though.
When the first quantum computer is made, security is fucking nothing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of...
Yeah. There's a cool website now. I forgot what it's called, but you just Google like how safe is my password or something like that. Type in the password you use, and they'll tell you exactly how long it'd take one CPU, probably a decent CPU, to brute force your password.
Yeah.
It'll be like 100 times your lifespan or something stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Now put in the most like just mash buttons, all sorts of shit into it, right, until you've maxed out all the characters or something, and then be all like, this password can be cracked in like a trillion, billion, septillion years or something like that. When quantum computing comes out, it will crack that in seconds.
Man.
So I don't think, right, before quantum computing becomes available to the masses or even available to anyone, they're going to have to upgrade the security to like some sort of quantum security as well.
That's true, yeah.
I don't even know if... I'm not a fucking quantum scientist, so I don't even know if that's possible, if you can make something that's hard to crack.
It's going to have to, like, we're going to have to stop using passwords and everything. We'll have to have, like, fingerprint scanners or...
But then quantum computers are so powerful. How do you know it's not going to be able to, like...
Brute force a fingerprint.
Yeah, brute force a fingerprint or brute force your retina or anything like that, mate. I don't know. I'm so skeptical about how the future of computing if they're going for quantum computing stuff.
He's so right.
It'll just brute force its way past fucking anything, mate. That's when Skynet will fucking...
Yeah.
They're going to create an AI. They'll be like, right, let's make this AI a quantum AI, and it's just going to fuck us over, mate.
Yeah. So, last episode I promised 2 things at the end, and we've done neither of those things. So, okay, we'll start with the games that I got in the Easter sale. Okay. So, obviously, I got Guardians of the Galaxy. We talked about it last episode.
Or TTGOTGTG.
Yes. Nice callback. I also got Telltale Game of Thrones. I got Jackbox Party Pack 3.
Yes.
I got Hitman and Lara Croft Go.
Yeah.
I got...
I'm sorry to break off, but don't you think that was such a stupid fad? Calling, like, if there's a version of a game on a console and you make a mobile version, putting Go on the end of it because it's like...
Because it's mobile.
Yeah. You know, it's on the go.
Yeah.
It's a fucking stupid trend.
What else did I get? I got Wolf Among Us.
Yes. Brilliant game.
And I also got Sleeping Dogs, Deluxe Edition, and...
Life is Strange.
Before the Storm.
Before the Storm.
So, I haven't played Life is Strange Before the Storm yet. I played Sleeping Dogs, but only a little bit. Like, the combat is really good.
Yeah.
I was saying to you earlier, I like that instead of just like pressing triangle for a heavy attack, you hold square.
Yeah.
Because it makes timing combos a lot easier because you're timing it against yourself rather than against like visual cues.
Yeah. Which
is just all games should do it.
Yeah.
I don't get why we don't do that more often.
It's the thing with sales. You buy like a fucking crap ton of games, but you can't play them all as much as you want.
I've only done one episode of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I have platted 2 of them. So shall we do our trophy roundup now?
Yeah, go for it.
So I got the platinum for Game of Thrones, the Telltale game of Thrones, and I just want to talk about how shit it was, really. So first of all, their version of the intro reel, like the like clockwork thing, rising up. It was like they try to render it in real time. Like, why did they even bother? Just like pre-render it, or even use the one from the TV show. I don't care, but that was shit. It looked like cardboard.
It did have a really like knockoff quality to it.
Yeah, it was
like
just
when the
really
trees pop up and those like the fucking leaves just like spin around and stretch up and shoot up, and I'm like, that looks shit.
Yeah, but like in the actual intro reel from the show, it looks as though they actually built it. Yeah. And it's actually working, and all the cogs that are turning aren't just turning cogs, are actually moving shit. Like, there was some thought behind it. But in the Telltale version, there's just shit rising, like, not even from slots in the ground. They're just rising through, clipping through the models and shit. It's just so bad. So, yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the story or the characters either, really.
No, there was one thing that I thought was quite clever that they did with the characters. Like, obviously, when you're doing Mirror's storyline in King's Landing, you're going to trust Tyrion. Yeah. Tyrion comes here and proposes something. You're going to say, oh, yeah, you're the only good character in the show. Of course I'm going to trust you. Well, not the only one, but you know what I mean. Well, they timed it just right so that if you do trust Tyrion, your plans get fucked anyway because he gets accused of killing Joffrey and gets dragged away.
Spoilers.
Oh, fuck off.
I was kidding. It was fucking ages. That was years ago. I don't know. I feel like it'd been much better if it wasn't following current events. If it was like a because
completely separate entity.
Yeah, there's such a rich backstory to everything that's happened in Game of Thrones. So it could have been set like 100 years before the events or something like that. Yeah, it's still a bit House Forrester, which is a cool house.
I think they did get the actual voice actors. Either that or very good imitators.
They did.
But Jon Snow doesn't sound like Jon Snow. It sounds like me doing an impression of Jon Snow.
Yeah. I just don't think he's ever done voice acting before.
Maybe. Well, Tyrion was pretty bad in Destiny. I mean, Dinklage was pretty bad in Destiny, but in this game, it was really good. So maybe he was just acting a character that he was familiar with.
About how Bungie had just rip him out of his current schedule and throw him straight into the fucking recording booth and just not tell him anything about it. Just say, like, read these lines.
Yeah. Like a robot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the King's Landing bits were really frustrating because it just you couldn't do anything right. But then it turned out because it's really political and like multi-leveled, and everyone's two-faced as fuck, and you're just trying to find the right thing to do. But then it turns out the whole game is just pointless because
if I remember correctly, it felt like every decision you make was just. It was scripted against you. There was no right decision.
Yeah, exactly.
To make.
You can't do anything wrong. And you can tell they just wanted to be really edgy because they got the Game of Thrones IP and they wanted it to make you feel helpless no matter what you do because it's Game of Thrones. Like, nobody's plan works. Like, as soon as somebody starts making a plan and starts doing that plan, you know shit's about to go wrong. Like, it never works out. So obviously they wanted to emulate that, but it's not the right platform to do that. Like, none of your choices matter. The only things that change throughout the whole story is who is in what position. Like, depending on who you choose as your sentinel, the other one is like a traitor.
Yeah.
And like, if
And it doesn't make sense for
if Roderick
either.
dies, Asher is the Lord,
Yeah.
or the other way around, and like the story doesn't change depending who it is.
It doesn't make
just...
any sense either for the Sentinels to be, fucking two-faced. Like, they're both very loyal to the family.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can kind of get it with the whatever that guy was called with the scars on his face.
Yeah.
But with Duncan, like, what about his son that he sent off on a quest to save the forest?
Well,
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
I know, man. It's ridiculous. It's like they didn't know what to do, and like Asher and Roderick, both good characters, and I wanted them both to be able to, back to back facing off against the rest of the fucking.
I killed Roderick by accident.
I think I did Google it afterwards just to see what choices were the best versus ones I made.
Nothing changes.
I think people were saying that Roderick has to survive to get the best outcome.
Oh, isn't that just like depending on their opinion?
Yeah, but Asher died on mine because I was like, Asher's a fucking dude, mate. He's gonna get he's out of this.
Asher was the coolest character.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking, even if he's trapped behind that wall, he'll fight his fucking way out. It's Asher, man. But yeah, he didn't, and I was like, that sucks.
So the only thing I really liked about the game was the art style, because it looked like it was painted. Well, like, I don't like the Telltale art style in terms of the like proportions of characters and how they all have really big eyes, just so they can emphasize expression, because the animators aren't very good.
Oh, the animators suck in Telltale games, don't they?
The painted textures were really nice, and the fact that when they did depth of field blur in the background, instead of it being blurry, it would just got more blotchy, like it was just like less detailed paint. Which was a nice idea in theory, but it didn't really work out as well as somebody else would if another developer did it.
Yeah,
like a AAA developer, it would look amazing. But it would just like, I get what you're doing. It's a cool idea.
I just don't think they put enough effort into it or time.
I don't think they put enough effort into anything, because they're always trying to do 7 IPs at the same time. Just pick one.
My biggest issue with Telltale games is, I've got a few, but like in terms of quality, it's the fucking animation. If a character has to bend down to pick something up, they do it in like 3 fucking frames, mate. It's like they've gone from standing to bending down to picking up to standing again in like less than a second. It's just there's no like easing into it. It's just like snapped, done. Yeah, stuff like that, and
they'll avoid things. I remember, was it The Last of Us? At the start, he puts a watch on, and I was just amazed by the fact that Naughty Dog didn't shy away from that. They didn't like change the camera angle or anything. It just like fucking put this watch on, and it was like a really fiddly animation to do, but they did it, and they didn't shy away from it, and I was like, this is the future. This is the future.
I know it was probably pre-rendered to fuck, but the cutscene, the trailer for The Last of Us 2, the teaser one, where Ellie's playing the guitar.
Yeah.
That most people would just do camera angles where you couldn't see their hands and stuff like that.
Or they just won't care.
If
it was a Japanese game, you'd just be strumming on note.
Yeah. But they absolutely took every care to make sure it looked as real as possible, like she's actually playing it, and she probably was. They just mocapped her in, and then they animated everything else. Like, but the vibration on the strings and everything just. Yeah, I went from like flaccid as fuck to like the most raging boner I've had in my life. It felt amazing.
That's cool, man.
And even the second trailer that they did, it was more like a little snippet of a cutscene from the actual game, where that woman's hanging from the tree, and the other woman comes along, lifts up her shirt a bit, and presses a knife against her stomach. I had no idea I was into stomach depression and stuff, but I'm all for it, mate. Stomach depressions get me going. Nose cartilage as well. I love it. If it's in a game and you can see the nose wrinkle and the cartilage going and subsurface scattering and shit, it's getting me hard, man.
The light going through the ears and shit,
hair strands and stuff, like. It looked so very much like wet hair that when she stood up and it was just like flopping around. That's what wet hair does, man. It's
really, really good.
Versus fucking Telltale's absolutely abysmal animation. There's one of the most outstanding examples of it is in the first season of The Walking Dead, which is a very good Telltale game. I did really enjoy it.
I didn't.
In one of the episodes, you have to go out to... you remember the first episode? Where you're in that pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you go back there.
Yeah.
It could have been episode 2 or something like that. Probably episode 2. You go back there to get the remainder of the supplies.
Mhm.
Obviously, you've already scavenged it there a few times because there's a bit of a time jump between episode 1 and 2. And this woman, and she's trying to run away from the zombies, and she gets bit by one, and she does this absolutely embarrassing, like, stiff as fuck waddle around them, and I'm like, were you even trying there, mate? Like,
I know exactly what you mean, actually. I can see it in my head.
it was so bad. I was like, that's fucking ridiculous.
They have a weird way of, like...
When a character has to turn around, they don't, like, whip the head around and turn around. They do this weird thing where the body kind of, like, twists down and fucking to the right. And
it takes them, like, 7 steps to, like, waddling side to side as they do it.
But, like, their arms, they'll stay stiff, so they'll, like, just turn around, their arms are sticking out from behind them. I'm like, fucking, what?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, that, Game of Thrones, Telltale is the first of the 2 plats that I got.
Yeah.
The second one is Wolf Among Us, which I also got from the Easter sale. Not much to say about that. It's just a really good game, like really good story.
Yeah, I felt like, because obviously you can choose to be a big bad wolf, or you can choose to be a nice little pretty puppy.
Yeah, and it has an effect.
And it feels like the tone shifts, and it just feels like you being an asshole actually changed things and stuff.
Exactly.
And even if none of that happened, but the text right at the end of when you finished. When you've concluded the story, and it says at the top or something like that, like everyone fears the big bad wolf or something like that. Like that's just such a cool aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously there's the opposite where it's like I don't know what it says if you're a good guy or forgone.
I don't know either.
But it was good. I liked it. I really liked the fight between Bloody Mary and you when you went full wolf mode.
Yeah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I also like the little like unspoken romance between Snow and Big Bleh.
Yeah.
Big
well, it was spoken by everyone else.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really liked it.
Yeah, same. So, do you have any trophies to recap on? Or?
No, I went through my 2 latest ones in the last episode. I'm working on Gravity Rush for PlayStation and Vita, and I'm going to try and plat them simultaneously. That'd be pretty cool. Plat them on the same day, like minutes apart.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
How far are you on the Vita one? You've not touched it yet.
I think I got to like chapter 7 or something on the Vita.
Okay.
There's I can't remember exactly what happens, but I did it's the chapter after the one where you have to go to school and fight the thing, the Nevi or whatever they're called. And then after that you go into like a rift plane thing, don't you?
Yeah. And
there's like this big monster, and there's not a lot of room to maneuver around, and
is it like lava?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like lava tunnels, and it's just the camera is so frustrating because you can't because the tunnels all like worm around, and you can't see around the corner, so you've got to like try and at the last second like turn and
there's one point where
shift gravity the other way.
You get into this really small enclosure, and there's like a really big Nevi in there, and it can one hit you, or at least one hit me, because I've probably not fucking upgraded my health.
Oh, that's a bonus trophy.
Is it?
It's an not an Easter egg, but it's like a hidden boss. There's like 3 hidden bosses, I think, and if you find them and beat them, you get trophies for it.
Right.
So that one's really strong, and it's because it's one of the hidden ones.
I did spot the hidden trophy thing, so I'm not even supposed to go there.
No, but you should, obviously, if you go for platinum. So,
all right, that makes sense. Because I was hating that point. I was like, this is only hard because I can't see where he's hitting me from and stuff. And when he does hit me, it's a one-hit kill.
Yeah, if you can't do it, just go back.
Also, to show you how determined I am to plat the Vita version, I recently bought all 3 of the DLC packs for it.
Right,
because I was like, I better do it now before the Vita gets like shut down and there's no support for it.
Yeah.
Because obviously it didn't come with a thingy, the PS Plus version that we got on the Vita, because it wasn't like a definitive edition. Or
I paid for it on that one. So
yeah, so I bought them as well. I want to get all the trophies from.
They're not doing Vita games on PS Plus anymore.
Yeah, I know. Or
PS3. But it's good because we're going to get better PS4 games.
The funding for it can go to PS4 games.
Well, I've been wanting for ages to get Mad Max for PS4 because I loved it on PC and nearly 100%ed it. And I want to plat it because I just really had fun on that game. So, like, every month, I try and stick to like 1 or 2 games a month, and usually it doesn't get enough priority for me to say, oh, I'll buy Mad Max this month.
Yeah.
but we're getting it for free.
Yeah, we are
on PS Plus. So yeah,
I'll definitely pick that up. I don't mind playing that again and get the plot on it.
No, it's so fun.
I didn't play it as long as you did, but I did start getting into the aspect of creating your magnum opus.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. I was looking forward to see how many different variations you can make and stuff.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to playing it again. Although I've got all these games and some of them I haven't even touched.
Yeah, that
Easter sales fucked me, mate.
I bought Dishonored 2 like a month before Christmas or something, and I've not put it in my console.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah, I've not played it at all. The disc's not even left the case. I've took the plastic wrapper off, but I didn't even open it. It's just been sat on my shelf.
That's silly.
I thought I'd buy it now since it was at £10. It was in a sale or something like that. And I was like, I'll just get it. I'll play it eventually. I think I'm so close to the plat on the first Dishonored, so I might boot that up and get the plat again, and then I might move on to Dishonored 2 if I've got the time, and if I'm not working on something else already. Then I want to plat. What is it? Nier Automata first, I think.
Yeah.
Because
that's true. I borrowed that off you, and I only played it for like 2 hours.
Yeah. You got Rise of the Tomb Raider off me as well, didn't you?
I played that a bit more than you, but also not enough to plat it.
Yeah.
I just quickly want to touch on something that you told me earlier today.
Okay.
So Undertale is coming to Switch.
Oh yes, it is.
Which is exciting for Undertale fans, as I know there are a lot of them.
They're very vocal as well about it, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Not as bad as Witcher 3 fans, though. So
it's not a bad vocal, but I mean, they've always got a reason to back up why they love it so much, which is cool.
Well, I've played it, and it is a really lovable game. Like, the characters are really cool. It's hard to believe it's an indie game, to be honest. It's a lot like Mother, or what do we call it in the West?
Mum.
No. No, Earthbound.
Right.
It's a lot like Earthbound. But the quirk of the game is that you don't have to kill people. In fact, you're encouraged not to kill enemies. You find a way to befriend them instead.
Yeah. You can go through and kill them all, and you get a really sad ending or something.
Yeah,
you can go through and befriend them all. And
I've done a pacifist run.
Yeah.
Because that's how the game's intended to play. Because I have it on Steam. So I've played it, I've finished it. And it's a really, really good game. And I was debating doing a genocide run. But the game, it fucks you for doing a genocide run. Like, the last boss is... Well, it might not be the last boss, but near the end of the game, you got to fight Sans. And the boss fight is incredible. The music for that boss fight, actually, is some of the best video game music I've ever heard, to be fair. It's just really, 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 really cool. But that boss fight is absolutely brutal. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of it or anything, but it's just unreal.
I've seen images of a woman from there. She's fishy and blue.
Yeah.
And the images I see are always unsavoury.
Right.
She's always got abs. Is she like a fit character or something?
I guess so. She's like a very small sprite for the majority of the game, so...
Right, okay. But there's always Rule 34 of it, and that's all I see. When you browse in there, and it's like, oh, there she is again. The little fish boobies out and stuff. That's all I know about the game. That, and there's a weird conspiracy thing about a skeleton character.
Yeah, Sans and Papyrus.
Yeah, there's some fans dug into it. And...
Yeah, there are a lot of conspiracy. Like, fucking... What's it called? Not Did You Know Gaming. What's the other one?
Game Theory guy.
Game Theory, yeah. He fucking loves Undertale. He gave a copy of Undertale to the Pope.
Okay.
That guy's so... Like, his channel's really cool. Like, his team does a good job finding really cool, interesting, links between games and data mining interesting shit. But his personality is so cringe and unbearable.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to watch one of his videos, especially if you put one of his videos on and you've got a friend in the room who's never seen it before, and you're like, oh god, please,
I hate how he
please,
ends it all. But that's just a theory. A game theory.
It's like, ugh, so cringe.
Plus, his name kind of annoys me. Matt Pat. Your name shouldn't rhyme like that.
I think his first name is Matt, but Pat is shortened from his actual last name.
So
he calls himself
first
Matt
name,
Pat.
which I assumed was shortened, isn't shortened.
Oh, well, it could be Matthew. I don't fucking...
Matthew Patterson.
Something like that. It could even be that. Who knows? I could if I Googled it, but I don't want to.
Fair enough. Is that a theory?
A game theory.
A Matt Pat theory.
Yeah, I only have one more note left. I don't know if we're getting to the end of the podcast, but...
Did you ever see...
Oh, we haven't talked about A Way Out yet.
We've not talked about A Way Out. Let's do that, man.
Well, hang on, let me just... No, fuck it, yeah, let's talk about A Way Out. Fuck the last note that I had. I don't care. Let's talk about A Way Out.
All right.
It's really good. I'm really excited to play it. So can we finish this podcast so we can go play it?
Yeah, quick fire, right. One word to describe exactly how you feel about it. Go.
Excited.
I would say impressed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm impressed that a game has come from... Well, EA didn't make it, they published it.
Mm-hmm.
Where they let you buy it and then let you and your friend play it online where your friend don't have to buy it. They play it for free, basically, off your copy.
Yeah. Although, it would be really brutal if they didn't let you do that.
Because you can't play it alone. Like, even if you had two controls, like, you've got to simultaneously do things and stuff. It's like, yeah, you won't be able to do that.
But it's so good to have a split-screen gaming back.
Yeah. It's even split screen
I hope this starts a trend and we have more.
But it even splits the screen when you're playing online.
Yeah, so you can see what the other person's doing, which is amazing.
And you could be like the other end of the fucking country from them. You can see what they're doing, walking around and whatnot.
But what's even more impressive is it looks like it's a fucking Unreal Engine tech demo, and it's rendered twice at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not the best graphical fidelity, but like it is pretty good, and it's rendered twice. Yeah. And the split screen is dynamic. It's always shifting around, so one person's screen gets really bigger and stuff like that. And it's like, fucking hell, mate. That's impressive.
It is really... The fact that it's just all these things in one. Like you said that you read a review that said it was what a Telltale game would be like if they didn't get rid of the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, they said something like, it reminds them of what a Telltale game would have evolved to be like if they weren't so intent on dumbing down game mechanics.
Yeah.
It was quite brutal how they put it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is true. It does... I don't know, it feels...
I wouldn't even compare it to Telltale, to be honest, because it's very own...
It's like halfway between a Telltale game and Heavy Rain.
What? No, it's even more than Heavy Rain.
I'm just saying, like, that's the even overall feel. Even. Yeah, it is. I do imagine at some point it's going to reach, like, Heavy Rain levels of cringe, but I don't give a shit. I'm enjoying the game.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm really enjoying it as well. I just like that one person can be off doing one thing and the other person can be doing something completely different. Like, and then you get two sides of the story at the same time. Yeah. Like when you meet Mr. Big Schnozz's girlfriend.
Yeah, we haven't played it for long, so I don't know the characters' names off by heart.
I did, but obviously it's short-term memory. So. Yeah. Mr. Big Schnoz. We go to his girlfriend's fucking caravan or whatever, mobile home.
Birdman, I call him.
Yeah, Birdman. And then you, who are playing as the character on the left on the character select screen.
The guy doesn't have a big nose, but his ears are quite large.
He's got a beard. You were off playing basketball.
Yeah, with your son.
with Birdman's son, while Birdman is talking to his wife in the caravan or whatever, and you get two sides of the story there. You see how his son's dealing with it, and you see how his wife's dealing with it.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really cool.
It really is. I'm really enjoying it, and I miss couch co-op. I said to you
well, we've played it online up until today. Now you're finally here, so we're gonna.
But even when we play online, it feels like a couch co-op game. Like
it really does.
Like, I don't know, I'm sure there was a point where my brain wanted to turn around and talk to you, but like, yo, mate, that was fucking sick. But obviously...
We have had a couple of glitches in it, but it is, like, newly released and...
Yeah. There's a part where you've got to get a car working, and you've got to pull out these... There's, like, a stump from a tree that's propping it up.
Yeah.
And we had to use this bar to lift it up to pull it out, but I just went around the side and I just ripped it out from underneath it without using the bar. And so the bar was stuck at the back of the truck and we couldn't get it out.
And the only reason I knew that it glitched is because we couldn't do anything with it. But if I went into the driver's side door, the camera moved down the hill.
Yeah, towards this tractor with jumper cables.
And I was like, well, why would the camera do that? Unless it's trying to tell me something. But then it didn't feel like that. It felt like something was wrong. And I was like, unless the camera's set to go at a certain angle when I do this, and I shouldn't be able to do this until the car's down the hill. So I was like, I think it's glitched. And then you Googled it and you're like, oh, yeah, there's a glitch.
Yeah, because when you said I think it's glitched, I just found the jumper cables to fix it.
Yeah.
And I was like, now how the fuck do I get this from up there? There's no prompt anywhere. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're there and the car's up there. It must have to get up there. And then he was like, I think it's glitched, mate.
Yeah.
That was purely my fault. Because I ripped the stump out before the voice prompt could even tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I think the problem is that we'll see a puzzle and we're smart enough to like 90% of the time go, oh, I see how this is done.
Yeah, we'll like jump like 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, so we'll just like fucking try and show off to each other and like plow through all the actions that we need to do to finish the puzzle. But we need to go at a certain pace that the game's expecting, otherwise it would cause things to fuck up a little.
But yeah, like I was speaking of dialogue, there's a really cool thing that happens when you're playing online. If you're both talking to characters, on your screen it will like slightly mute.
Reduce the volume.
Will reduce the volume of your friend's side of the screen, so you can hear your conversation more than you can hear theirs, which I think was really good. I didn't notice it at first. And then I realised there's a few times where we were both talking to a character at the same time, and I was like, I've not picked up anything that guy's been saying, and I was like, they've reduced the volume a bit.
They have some really, really cool, like, just... Oh, it's just so cool, man. Like, there's loads of just little shit you can do.
Yeah.
Like, we stopped and played, like, I was playing piano and you were playing banjo for like 10 minutes in this old woman's house. Like, we just fucked off whatever we were doing in the game and just played around with these little mini games.
Fresh out of prison, and then was like, let's play banjo and piano.
And there was a baseball mini game, which we played for a good long while, which was awesome as well.
Darts.
Yeah, darts as well.
It's fun.
Really cool.
Obviously, I trounced you every time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a.
I beat you on the darts one.
Did you say throwing horseshoes?
Oh yeah, there's throwing horseshoes.
No, because you did beat me initially,
and then you beat me.
And then you went off to go talk to your son, who was an edgy little shit, who was wearing shorts that were too big for him. And then while you were doing that, I just got triple 20s like 3 times. And I was like, that's it. You can't beat that score.
But yeah, that. I'm just blown away by how much content there is.
Another cool little thing they didn't have to do, they just did it because it was cool. The character you're playing, right, Leo, I think he's called.
Yeah.
He has
and you're called Vincent.
Leo and Vincent. Leo's got a phobia of heights.
Yeah, it's so cool. We always fuck with him though. We're like, you're scared of heights, you go.
So there was a part where we had to cross this it was like a pole or something on it.
Yeah.
Under a bridge.
Yeah.
And we had to cross it.
Mm-hmm.
And your character, your fucking camera freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, the field of vision just got stretched out, so it looked further down. But at the same time, that wasn't happening on your screen.
My screen was just calm as shit.
So my character's like shaking and like the camera's stretched out. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
So now we always make him go in the high places.
It's like, oh, there's something to do with heights. Leo, it's you.
Yeah.
And he always got something to say as well. Like there's this, I don't know what they're called. It's like a little shitty metal windmill thing, and I'm pretty sure
windmill.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure its specific purpose is when the wind blows, it pumps water from the well to a reserve tank or something like that.
Okay.
They're on American farms everywhere. I've never seen one in England. But yeah, you could go up there. I went up there and I was like, right, send your character up there. I want to see what he says about this shit. And as he's climbing, he was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why the fuck am I doing this? Pro tip, if you do go up there, spin the blades a bit. And
multiple times you get a
trophy. That's what I really like about it as well. The trophies aren't just for like doing the story missions, like going through the story.
Yeah.
The
trophies are for stopping and enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like the baseball minigame, you got trophies.
I don't know about the trophies ahead of us because we're only on like chapter 4 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how big the game is either, but it's getting so good. Like we fucking robbed a gas station and shit. Like, man, it's awesome.
So yeah, I don't know about the trophies ahead of us, but every time we've completed a chapter, I've looked at the trophies we've missed in that chapter, and like right at the start, we missed a trophy where I was doing it as well. Like we're doing push-ups, and I was like, I wonder how many I can do. Got
Pull-ups.
to 10 pull-ups, yeah. Got to 10, I was like, fuck it. But if I'd done 9 more, oh no, I think it was 10 more because you had to get to 20. The record was 19, you had to get to 20. I got a trophy for it.
There's something to do with a parrot as well that we didn't do.
Yeah, there's like a little bird in a cage in the warden's office. You can release that, and you'll get a trophy for it.
We're doing well since then, though. I feel like we've got quite a few.
Probably.
There's a few places where we didn't really stop and look around enough, like when we went to the construction site for the first time.
Yeah,
because I found that elevator and I tried to go up without you, but then it stopped and waited for you.
That's another thing. Like having to coordinate with your friend is really satisfying and fun.
Yeah,
like you've probably seen the part in the trailer, like where you've got to climb back to back up a shaft by using your legs.
It's not just holding up. Like you've got to like really time your steps together.
At first, it was a bit awkward.
It was awful.
Like I'd end up because my time is better than yours, so I'd end up like above you, and you'd have to catch up with me, and then we'd both miss one and stuff. But eventually,
we got a rhythm.
We just got a rhythm. Just
get it
happened.
On the back swing.
Yeah. When it's swung around to the left, then comes back down. We've got to press. There's like a little safe zone, and there's like a little ball, and it's a half circle, and it swings from left to right. And you've got to hit it when it's at the bottom in the safe zone. And we were waiting for it to go up to the left, and then got it down on the backswing. And when we did that, mate, it was just all fucking gravy from there, wasn't it?
It was so cool, man.
It was really fun.
I've really hyped myself up for it now. So
you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap this up and go play.
Okay, we're gonna go play a way out.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and you can find all of our shit on our Twitter, which is @UT2cast. So follow us on there, and you'll find everything.
Links for days.
Also, if you listen to this podcast, you probably found one place to listen to us. So.
Yeah. There's us acting like you're all idiots, and you just this just happened to materialize in front of you. And like, where do I find more?
Play a way out. Yeah, boy.
You were trying to find a way out of the podcast to go play a way out.
In it.